about planning. So if you go to a financial advisor, they follow an industry standard. It's called ISO 22222. And what it is an industry standard about the sales process. Best practice is what it's called, and it's encouraged by the regulator and it's encouraged by the advisors' firms. The first part of that process is to pull out a brochure and show you their terms and conditions, the agreement between the client and the advisor. And it typically, on average, it takes from meeting the client about 82 seconds before pulling out a brochure and then talking about the money. I'm sure you would agree that 82 seconds isn't a very long time to talk about your goals. The second step in the ISO 22222 is to look at your goals. However, the advisor will be following a process to look at your goals that's been set by their firm and encouraged by the regulator. And it really focuses on protecting your wealth as a priority and making sure you have sufficient funds in retirement as a second priority. And then it might look at things like savings and a mortgage down the line. And what it's aimed at doing, this industry standard and the regulatory best practice, is focusing on accumulation for you for your working life. So that, from the age of 16 to 66, the plan that you're given focuses on accumulating your wealth over that 50-year period, on the bet that you can buy yourself the financial freedom in the last 16 years of your life. That's from 66 to 82, that's average life expectancy or beyond. So that's a big bet, particularly if you're in mundane work and you're not particularly enjoying what you do, you're not using your gifts and talents to create abundance in the world. You're just doing a run-of-the-mill job because you were told to get a proper job and that's what you're doing. It's not particularly enjoyable. Maybe you're a budding entrepreneur, maybe you've got some great ideas that in the age of the internet you could make a great financial success for yourself. But with this financial arrangement, the industry standard, the regulator standard, the firm standard, you are locked in to accumulating your money. And a lot of that's going to be in a pension tax wrapper, which means you're not going to have access to that until you're age 55 or beyond. So the bad news is that if you're in your mid-40s and you want to be an entrepreneur and all you've got is a big pension pot, there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. You're basically stuck on the treadmill of work existence until you're 55. You're stuck in the rat race. And that's all because the advisor never had the conversation with you in the first place. Are you happy? Are you happy with your lot? Are you happy with your life? They've not had the conversation with you. Is there some gift or talent that you can use in the world to actually earn 10 times more money? They've never had that conversation with you. You see, what happens is the typical advisor planning model, the advisor gives you their plan instead of you creating your own. So the solution is to create your own plan, to actually know what you want to do with your life. And then knowing what you want to do with your life, then you can put in place a financial architecture to support it. And that might mean, instead of putting your money into a pension pot, putting your money into ISAs, which gives you liquidity, which means you have access to your funds in your mid-40s, should you wish to set up in business and want to fund the interim period where you're just getting started to get going. So that would be a better solution. Now, some might say, well, a pension is more tax efficient, and we do have this big problem in later life about funding levels. Well, later life, I don't like to use the word retirement. Retirement is really for people who don't enjoy their jobs. You start work and you start living off, you start decumulating your life savings. That's the old principle. Well, there's something else that I'd like to introduce to you. It's called financial freedom. With financial freedom, it's the point at which you can stop all the jobs you hate and just from that point forward be doing what you love and enjoying life and enjoying the money, enjoying the income. And that money, that recurring money that comes in, can carry on coming in your later life, in your retirement. So, you can carry on enjoying the financial benefits of your plan and into your later life, to the end of your life. So that is a better arrangement, looking at planning for your financial freedom rather than planning for your retirement. Because here's the point, financial freedom could be just a few years away. It might even be 12 months away. A point at which you can stop doing everything you hate, and from that point forward for the rest of your life being doing what you love and creating a great amount of income from it. With a lot of my clients, that's what we've done. We've planned their financial freedom for a year, 2 years, 3 years hence of savings, of staying on the rat race and then escaping the rat race from that point forward. Having a recurring revenue from a business, as an example, that could give you, dividend income on your business, can give you recurring revenue throughout retirement, or property, rental income on property portfolio. Again, that can give you recurring revenue for the rest of your life. So there are alternatives. Now people say, well, pensions are really tax efficient. Now the thing is about pensions is they used to be very tax efficient, but there have been changes because of the ageing population, the age dependency ratio. That is, the number of pensioners is growing compared to the general population. It's unsustainable, the state system of support, company pension systems of support for the growing number of pensioners as we get older. So what has happened is the changes that have happened are that there's something called freedoms. This is that when you get to 55 onwards, you don't have to buy an annuity. You don't have to take a recurring revenue from the insurance company for the rest of your life. You can do something called drawdown, which is where you take your pension pot and you take your tax-free cash, then you take elements from your pot piece by piece. Now the thing is that you have to pay income tax on the pieces that you take after your tax-free cash under the PAYE system, as if you'd earned it in that year. And what happens as a result, if people take, as they are doing, people are taking their money quicker, they're paying higher levels of tax. Now the old assumption with the pension pot is that 2 out of 3 people would be paying lower levels of tax in retirement than they do during their working life. That used to be the case, but now with freedoms, that's no longer the case. People are paying the same, if not more, tax in their retirement than they were paying during their working life. So now what happens is, if you're getting a break on your pension contribution, you get a tax break, that segregated element that was from the taxman ends up getting paid back to the taxman. You get no benefit from it. In fact, it could be more than that's paid back to the taxman. You could be paying 40% tax or 45% tax on your retirement income. And when you're only, for the vast majority of your life, up until mid-career anyway, you might be a lower rate taxpayer, but now you're paying a higher rate tax on that element, which effectively is taxing your savings. It's not giving you a tax benefit. The other problem I've already mentioned about pension pots is they are illiquid. That is, you can't access the money. No matter what situation you're in, how difficult it is, you can't access that money till you're 55. You're stuck. The last point is, I mentioned before, that 95% of the population have less than £100,000 in savings. And what happens with that in retirement, it just deprives you of means-tested benefits, like pension credits or housing tax credits. It just simply, if you have more than £10,000 in savings in your retirement, there's a lot of benefits that you don't get. And the proposals are that looking at means testing further. So that could be, with the age dependency ratio as it is, that could be worse when you get to your retirement. So actually just having a small pension pot, you could just be depriving yourself of means tested benefits in retirement. And now lots and lots of people are going to have small pension pots because of workplace pensions. They've now made it compulsory for people to have small pension pots. And effectively that's a saving scheme for the taxman. The taxman is the beneficiary in that arrangement rather than you. So don't rely on the systems that other people put in place for you. Don't rely upon the plans that other people have for you. You need to make your own plans. You need to be more of a DIY investor. You need to break this relationship with the industry and be more independent. Be the architect of your own life. Don't be the pawn in someone else's game. Be the player.